Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Presley, and in this video today, I want to give you my review for Spider-Man Reign and Spider-Man Reign 2. Going to be reviewing both of these books in the same video, so let's jump right into it. Now, Spider-Man Reign 1 and 2, written, drawn, and colored by Cary Andrews. In both of the books, he had a little bit of help with coloring, but majority of it was done completely by Cary Andrews, so this feels like his vision. And let's talk about Spider-Man Reign 1 first. I'm going to talk about the artwork for both of them. And I will try to put panels on screen, but I have been researching some, trying to get some for you guys, and it's been hard finding panels for these. So I'll try to put some artwork on screen, but I can't guarantee that I will. But yes, let's start with Spider-Man Reign 1, and this came out in 2008. And I just gotta say, the artwork is not great. There's a difference though. There's a difference between me not liking it and me thinking it's not good. I don't think it's objectively very good. I think it's a bit messy. It's a little bit weird and wacky and scribbly almost, but I like it. Like, the faces are very uncanny. It feels very unsettling at times, but I feel like that gives the book a lot of charm and a lot of personality. So even though I think I wouldn't recommend this to somebody as a starter book for Spider-Man because I think the artwork is a bit odd, I still enjoy it. I think it's different. I think it's super unique and crazy personality-wise. But yes, it is very uncanny, very weird. Spider-Man Reign 2, though, Cary Andrews really found his style. I believe that book came out in 2023 to 2024. And this is the Cary Andrews art that I know, and I really, really did love. Now, I love the way he draws Spider-Man villains specifically. Spider-Man looks great as well, especially the old guy with the long beard. Fantastic. And all the side characters like Kitty Cat and Miles Morales are great as well. But the way he draws like Prowler and Shocker and Vulture throughout here, and even Green Goblin and Kingpin, oh my goodness, Kingpin, so incredibly cool. I really dug Kingpin's design. He's a huge fat balloon with a bunch of like mechanics on him, pumping a bunch of chemicals into a system. Super great stuff. Overall, the artwork for Volume 2 definitely is better, and I think I would recommend that artwork for somebody starting out in Spider-Man comics. Number 1, much more wacky, much more kind of odd, and I wouldn't recommend it for everybody, but I did personally like it. Overall, I dug it. Now let's talk about the stories. Both of these take place in the future where superheroes have kind of been exiled, kicked out, and destroyed from Manhattan and New York because these people favor security over freedom. So in the first book, the mayor, which we find out later is being controlled by Venom, is setting up this thing called the Web, which is basically a huge security system that he puts over Manhattan in order to keep anybody from leaving and anybody from entering. And the people like it at first because they want to feel safe, they want to feel secure, and they want to feel like nobody's going to come and get them. And the reason the mayor does this, or the way the mayor does this, is by staging super terrorist attacks to show these people that they should be afraid and what would happen if the Web system did not go up. Overall, that book is great. The story's great. It flows nicely, and it involves Spider-Man, who's coming out of retirement because he's very, very, very old now, and he just wants to die. But he comes out of retirement because all of his villains come back, and they try to find him, and Venom is trying to find him and kill him. It's really great stuff. He's coming back to save the city because we find out later on in the book, and this is kind of a spoiler, but I wanted to talk about it, that the reason Venom actually made this web system in the first place is to use Manhattan as a feeding ground for all of his symbiotes. Great stuff. He feels abandoned by Spider-Man when Peter Parker eventually took off the symbiote. So now Venom is back for revenge and he wants to kill everybody. Great stuff. Spider-Man 2 actually involves Kingpin rising up from the aftermath of Spider-Man Reign 1, taking control of the city and trying to use people as uploads. And what that means is he wants to kill them and use them digitally to send them to like a digital heaven. But a lot of people are on board with this because they don't know the lie behind it, that he's actually just killing them because the electricity throughout the city is constantly dwindling. The resources are dwindling, and he's literally just killing people. But a lot of people want to go along with it because they're oblivious to the fact that the truth is they will die. I thought it was great. Spider-Man goes back in time here with the help of Green Goblin and Kitty Cat to try to save MJ. And little do we know it is actually just a ploy. So Green Goblin can build his bomb in the past underground to try to blow up the nuclear reactor that the web system is being powered by. Great stuff throughout, a lot of twists and turns in Volume 2. And honestly, I did like Volume 2 a little bit more. I thought the pacing was a bit better. It was 5 issues instead of 4. So we got a little bit more background, especially on the disappearance of MJ and things like that. And speaking of MJ, she was a standout like side character throughout this entire book because she's Peter's entire motivation for doing what he needs to do. He wants to die and he wants to see her again, but every time he sees her in his visions, she tells him it's not ready yet. You know, you need to go do what you need to do. Go get him, Tiger. You know, all those classic Mary Jane lines. And she's basically pushing him to become Spider-Man again, even though he is old, so that he can save the city and the city can have some hope in Spider-Man and in superheroes again. Throughout Volume 1, that is kind of his whole motivation. And then Volume 2, he actually goes back to find her. And she's still motivating him, but in a different way, because she actually is found by him. And he learns some things about himself going back in the past again, trying to save her. And he finds out that she's been taken over by the Venom symbiote. Great stuff throughout here. Overall, Mary Jane played a very, very important role through both of the stories in here. And I think if she wasn't in it, if she wasn't the driving force, Peter Parker would have just accepted his fate and died. Throughout both of these books, there's a lot of great emotional moments. Specifically in the first one, not only with Peter reuniting with MJ in his dreams and having these nightmares constantly, but Sandman having a very human and personal moment with his daughter. Great stuff for that one. Absolutely loved it. And Spider-Man's villains come back in there, so it's a little bit of a reunion with them to try to go take down the wall crawler. But then Volume 2, there's a lot more emotional moments as well, like goblins, Green Goblin's little gobbies, sacrificing themselves to stay back in time and build the bomb. It's really sad. You see it later throughout the book where the little goblin that stayed behind and finished the bomb, he's just bones now. It's actually quite emotional. And then also Kitty Cat, which is Miles Morales' daughter, is reuniting with him, and they're kind of explaining to each other what happened with their lives, why they couldn't save each other and things like that. And then she ends up finding her mom again. So a lot of great reunions in book 2 and book 1 as well. Overall, the emotional aspect of both of these books was fantastic, and even Volume 2 I thought was a little bit better. So yes, overall, Spider-Man Reign was a really fun, like, alternate universe future storyline where Spider-Man is aging, he's dying. And I gave book 1 a 4.5 stars. I was torn between a 4 stars and a 4.5 because of that artwork, but I ended up going 4.5 because I really dug the story, and there's something so simple about this dark, twisted world. And then Volume 2, I gave a 4.5 as well, but I think it's slightly better because the artwork is much punchier, much more expressive, and I love it. I love the character design, but also the story's fun. It's fast, but at the same time, it takes its time to explain everything. It's a great story overall, and both of these books get a 4.5 together because I just really dug it and I thought it was super fun. Let me know in the comments down below if you have read Spider-Man Reign 1 and 2 already. If you have, what were your thoughts? What were your opinions? And most importantly, what is your rating? Again, I gave both of them a combined 4.5 stars out of 5. If you haven't read it yet and you want some alternate universe futuristic storyline where superheroes have been outlawed and killed and Spider-Man is basically like a 90-year-old man who comes back out of retirement, out of the grave, if you want to say, then definitely check it out. It's a really fun time. Thank you so very much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you later.